Hey everybody, I'm gonna be doing another truck talk off-road again. You're just seeing the back view, but this road is uneven bedrock. I was scared to drive on it the first time. I saw it, I'm like, I'm not going down that hill. But you get used to it. Some of these hills are like around here. Like when I went to go visit the neighbor, which wasn't home. If you're prepping and you're finding it hard to find enough fertilizer, good fertilizer, like ammonium nitrate and all that stuff, we're going to have a little talk about that. I'm also looking for a good internet signal for my phone because at the cabin, it's been out since Friday. Nothing. It says emergency calls only. So if I haven't answered anybody on Facebook or YouTube or Patreon, which doesn't seem to work, I'm sorry about that. I'll get back to you. And we have to go do some searching down the road. How on earth do you make your own fertilizer? I mean, you can do it with chemistry. You can dry out your urine and make basic fertilizer that way. Lots of urea and nitrogen in there. Careful you don't burn your plants. You cannot water your plants with urine. I've tried it. It doesn't work. If you're gonna do that, you have to really dilute it. The best thing to do is make your compost with just leaves, food scraps, grass clippings, and human waste. And so I guess if you're on the plumbing system, maybe you have to go to a dry toilet kind of system, like with a RV. RVs have dry toilets, especially if you're off the grid. How easy is that, right? Best way to fertilize your plants is actually with compost. Compost that you made yourself. What you do is you got all your grass clippings, all your leaves, all your food scraps, and I recommend getting a dry toilet. The kinds that you have in some newer RVs. It's sort of ecological. You collect all the waste and you have to let it kind of ferment. All the germs have to die, all the possible parasites have to die months later. It needs to be damp and it needs air to get to it. And you're going to have this dirt that is absolutely wonderful to grow in. Completely perfect. That's what I put a raspberry bush in, was basically food scraps, leaves, nothing that contained any seeds, because you don't want any seeds in there. I'm sorry, I guess I'm in the shadows now. But yeah, this is a road I haven't been on before. We're both going on an adventure. The adventure of a lifetime. I have to see where this road goes because there happens to be a small town from from my view, from my cabin, from my front door, you know, a little bit to the north, a little left, it's like people keep coming by my cabin and asking, how do I get to this town? And I try to explain it to them, and I feel like I'm leading on a wild goose chase. And what I said about a dry toilet is important. You can just use food scraps. Now try to keep food scraps that contain salt out. You know salt is not good for plants. So if you got salty food, oh man, use it for something else. Also, the human waste is actually important. It has, I'm not trying to disgust you guys, but it's very important. If you can't buy fertilizer, don't think your plants are going to thrive. They're not. I've tried it. I've grown plants just with the dirt that was there. And they produced something, but it wasn't enough. Especially if the amount of land you have is very small, you're gonna starve. Speaking about what we just spoke about, yeah, I'm driving by like a sewage treatment plant or something. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna use their electricity. I'm not gonna use their water system. It's all unecological and a waste. So you think that you have to use the systems available. You're stuck. Well, get unstuck. Remember all the people on 9/11 that were in an impossible situation above the zone in the North Tower where there was possible escape. And they found the one staircase which was partially destroyed but not fully destroyed. And they made it down. And people were telling them, no, you need to go up. You can't go down. There's too much smoke and fire below. But they said, no, I'm going to get unstuck. However possible. Well, I guess we sort of accidentally found the lake that everyone's talking about where you can fish. I haven't checked it out because they can't guarantee me that the fish aren't completely full of worms. It doesn't mean I'm not going to go fishing here, but this is a little too close to the sewage treatment plant. Oh, man. Is this really the lake they're talking about? There's so many flies outside. I'm not going to back into the lake. I'm just trying to get myself turned back around forwards. Yeah, those are lots of flies out here. What do you expect in a fresh lake? Well, here we are. I guess you gotta wear hip waders or something. Lots of algae. But yeah, I mean, it'd be possible to, I guess, and get water from this lake if I ever had to. First time visiting it. Somehow, I didn't run into any mosquitoes out there. Oh, I guess they're just gnats, which is a miracle. They have fish in there that probably eat the mosquito larvae, but mosquitoes are so prolific. I mean, there's no mosquitoes. At least I didn't see any or feel any or hear any. Unless those are all, who knows. Tell you what, if I ever need water, I know where to get it. Besides having a cistern on my property, we're all right now headed for hard times. Okay. There's no, we might get better. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Some say that the world is overpopulated, and some people disagree and say, no, it's not. There's still plenty of land left to inhabit. Well, I decided I could afford to buy property in Montana, but I would have had to work my butt off to do it. I said, forget it. I'm gonna go to Mexico, where the property is cheaper. I mean, you could buy property in other places that's way cheaper than Mexico. And, live the way I think God intended us to live. I would say that there's too many people for the amount of land to produce food in a normal way. So let's say that the population increased 5-fold, and they found a way to grow food vertically, which they can do. It's still limited. There's too many people on the planet. And so what happens is it's supply and demand. When you're getting a job, they say, well, we can hire so many different people. You have to do a perfect job or you're fired. Remember what happened after the plague, the Black Death, the bubonic plague, when so many people died? Suddenly everybody had money because there were fewer people. And that's a sad thing to think that less people, it's sad when people are lost. People are great, but there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. Sometimes less is more. And so we're headed for harder times. Things are going to get more expensive. Pretty soon moving to Mexico is going to be too expensive. I had to look hard-ish, to find cheap property here in Mexico. So, I wonder if I could do a shortcut. No. Anyway, yeah, I just went down this road. Now I can see why people use it to go to the lake. It didn't smell polluted. It just smelled like water. So, probably have to do a chem test on it. Test the pH. All that stuff. What are you going to do to prepare for harder times, especially if you have children? Look, if it was hard for you, imagine how hard it's going to be for your children if you don't have land somewhere and some property rights. It's just, I'm not trying to give you bad news, I'm just telling you the truth, man. This is all stuff you can look up on the internet. There's not enough arable land available. Here, the land is good to grow if you dig a big well and you use insecticide. But you know, there's really good land available. It's used up. It's pricey. The really just garbage land, the desert. Try buying land even in the desert in the U.S. See how much it costs. That land lacks nutrients, it lacks water, it's basically garbage. So now's the time to prepare. If you have to live in a mobile home, to save up enough money, maybe get a bunch of roommates, get it together now. And please like and subscribe and comment. I don't get any likes and hardly any views, but we are a growing channel, kind of like the the seedlings in my garden. They're growing, but too slowly to feed me at this time. So let's just keep growing together. Thank you so much for watching. God bless each and every one. In the name of the Son of the Most High God. Amen.